was right, it's happening. Legal speech is now quote-unquote harmful. Platforms forced to censor you or face ruin. Age checks equal surveillance.
By the way, surveillance and digital ID, they already have surveillance and digital ID. The real problem isn't the age checks. The real problem is the government using the information to prosecute you based off of speech laws. That's the real enemy. YouTube isn't your enemy. Spotify...
YouTube is the enemy. They're the ones colluding with the government and censoring people. When Biden was in office, the person who was censoring people was these social media giants. These social media giants pretty much decided collectively in one night, all at the same time, they decided, let's go ban Alex Jones. They decided it all in one night, all at the same time, and they executed it effortlessly. No delays, no nothing. Just instant ban. The idea that these companies are acting in the interest of the government is partially true. They do have allegiance to the government, and they do obey the government. They are a part of the country, after all, the legal institution of the country. They do exist within that confines. But my thing is what I'm saying here, is that they are not just unwilling actors who are obeying the government. They on their own terms, on their own free time, have constantly lectured people and told them, you gotta be more feminist, you gotta be more liberal. You remember Susan Wojcicki? I remember. A very left-wing woman. So the idea that these companies are operating in a sort of neutral fashion and they're just reacting to what the government is telling them is just untrue. It's just so fraudulent. It's not true. These companies have always had a left-wing bias, and they were censoring way before this. They were censoring people way before this. They were censoring people for COVID. And you could say partially that was Biden's thing, but let's be honest, a lot of these people were colluding together. They were being bed in bed. They weren't isolating on their own sort of, island, doing their own thing. The company, Asmongold has this idea that companies are innocent people who are just trying to make a dime. As if they have not made constant woke, shitty products that get no money and get no sales. As if they have not tried to milk IPs and get no money out of it. These companies have done lots of things, lots of projects, lots of movies, lots of cartoons, lots of anime, lots of video games, whatever you want to call, whatever project you want to call, whatever media project, whatever thing you're talking about, books, whatever project, whatever, media topic, these companies have constantly made products that nobody wanted, but they wanted because of their political reasons. And again, Biden did not hold these companies at gunpoint saying, please make products that are woke and shitty. Please make the liberal products. Please make the liberal left-wing leftist products. Biden did not have them at gunpoint. They did this on their own. In fact, Disney, under the administration of Trump, released Ironheart. Who is holding them at gunpoint to make liberal leftist propaganda when there isn't even a liberal in office? It's a right-wing candidate. Like, the idea these companies are operating entirely based off profit-based reasons is entirely nonsensical. All these guys are liberals. 90% of them. Bob Iger, he was putting a fucking a donation fucking shareholders. He was having shareholders pull out from Twitter in response to Elon allowing right-wing speech on the X platform. Like, he was literally trying to financially sabotage Elon's business, which should be illegal, mind you. He was trying to financially sabotage Elon's business. Everybody was for it. Nobody said anything about it. They were trying to financially sabotage Musk's business because he politically disagreed with him on allowing right-wing speech on the platform. This is something Bob did entirely on his own. Bob Iger, right? Iger? He did this entirely on his own, isolated to any other party. He did this on his own. Nobody made him do this. Iger did this. Bob did this. And he was encouraged by fellow Disney execs. He was encouraged by fellow people in the industry. Celebrities, writers, business owners. Everyone encouraged him. Traders, business traders, video game companies, all of these people have encouraged Iger to do this, and they have had policies and positions that are aligned with that of Iger. The idea that these companies are acting on the interest of the government when the government does not agree with them is just asinine. It's just fucking asinine. The government is right-wing right now. We have a right-wing president in terms of Donald Trump. He's a Republican. So this idea that companies are acting based off the government interest, they are doing left-wing propaganda when there's a right-wing guy in office. Asmongold needs to get his fucking head in his fucking ass because he's acting like a complete buffoon. If the companies are acting in terms of the interest of the government at any given time, they would be shifting positions every time that a new president gets in. Yet they stay consistently left wing, universally, even when there's right wing people in office. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Yet he holds to this idea. YouTube is not a mom and pop shop. It is a elitist company ran by shareholders and business executives who have rich parents and have rich children. They are not your average Joe who took a small loan out to fucking rent a shop in the local town. People need to get with the times. A lot of these companies are not mom and pop shops. The government treats them like that so they can collude and get benefits from those companies censoring people. That's it. They are not mom and pop shops. They are not ran by a person. They are ran by committee. And that's the whole reason why they have this law that, we can't sue companies. It's not ran by a person. Well, there's a person who is the executive, the CEO, who's making decisions. And there's people who would have been responsible. Like, for example, if you have a toy department and there's a toy with, like, genitalia or sexual parts that shouldn't be given to children, the person at the head of that agency should be fired because he's the head of that that division, right? Like, people just throw out what is basically common sense to protect the interest of these corporations. I can't stand this idea either because corporations and governments are institutions, they're agencies. They have their own interests, they have their own beliefs. Asmongold was the same guy who said the government had accountability to the people, and they're the same people who are getting censored and getting attacked by the government, and this is the same government who has no accountability and effectively can rape children, go to the island, sexually molest children, and it's all public pretty much, all stated in public. Everyone knows it, and there's no accountability. These politicians stay in office despite, let's be honest, not full transparency, but despite most common knowledge pointing to them being on the island. They effectively hold a position that cannot be shaken off no matter what you do to them. I mean, how long has Bernie been in office for? I mean, he's pretty much been a congressman, been in the actual politics arena for his entire life. And the dude's a confirmed commie. Like, he's an enemy of the U.S. state. Communists have always been the enemy of the U.S. state. Like, we literally fought the Cold War over this. And people allowed him into office. So, yeah, it's just comical. Like, you could pretty much get away with anything when you're a politician. The only thing you can't get away with is if you're a Nazi, because Nazism's so bad. Even though Stalin killed more people. Even though Stalin was a known enemy of the US. We fought a Cold War over it, right? We had the Cold War over this, right? With many proxy battles. But the point is, there is much more investment in Russia being an enemy in terms of communism, in terms of anything, as compared to Nazism. So it's just kind of comical to me. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my rant. Asmongold and this guy's stupid. Pretty much every right-wing YouTuber is stupid. Every left-wing YouTuber is stupid, too. Because they never want to go the full mile on anything. They'll say, well, why aren't... Men are depressed, and women are being snarky and mean to them. And they say they're broke, and they don't want to have kids with them. And it's like, well, men should man up. They should be real men and get their shit together. It's like, well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, women are the ones selecting, and it is women's fault. It is women's fault for the birth rate. It is. If you are the one in charge of selecting for a product, and your product fails, it doesn't sell, normally, in a business type environment where it is normal, it is realistic. If you choose a product and you're like an executive and that product fails, the executive decision was on you, so it's your fault, and you get fired. But if you're a woman, you make a bad choice with men, or you make no choice and you refuse to get married, it's somehow the man's fault that you refuse to get married or refuse to choose a good partner. Because people have protectionism for the U.S. Government institution and the people within it, and companies and businesses and the people who own them, like CEOs and whatnot, and women. Because these are effectively protected classes in America. And in Canada.